Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel for another quick watercolor art journaling video. I hope you don't mind the noise in the background. I have my windows open today, and at the moment the birds are quite loud, and also our frogs sometimes um, turn out to be the loudest in the whole garden. I'm doing my go-to spread, I would say. I'm creating some square shapes and fill them with watercolor texture. Let the paint flow, just experiment a little bit. And I'm doing this with the color palette you can see on the left side. I have another video coming where I play with this color palette. I really like it. I searched for something different than I've used during the past weeks. And I also wanted to have something that is not a usual color palette for me. I I don't like purple and well, I like purple and red, but it's not my go-to color, and that's the reason why I chose this color palette. In the beginning, I've sketched out my squares a little bit just to know where I have to put them, and then I'm going in with watercolors. I'm working with my big palettes today. I have two big tins with watercolors, one with warm colors and one with cool colors, and there I have my favorite watercolor paints in them, and there are all kinds of brands in there. A lot of Rosa Gallery, a lot of Mijello, a lot of Van Gogh, some White Knights, some Daniel Smith, I don't know, Schminke, for example. Now the frogs are singing. I love them. I think they make such a cool noise, and it's every time it's so different when they combine it all together that it never gets boring. I really like that. I can't tell you which colors I'm using here. I have absolutely no idea. I know the green and the red is a Rosa Gallery color. The purple, I don't know. And I think the pastel, the beigey color is one from White Knights. I really love when the colors blend into each other, when you can just see what happens when one pigment touches the surface, what if it's dominant, if it's not dominant, how it spreads, and how it mixes with the other colors. I really like that process because it's so playful. It's similar to the spreads I do in my smaller journal where I always do double spreads. It's the same. I also enjoy that. I just feel with the bigger pages, I can create more of a finished piece instead of just playing, but it's still very playful. Here I'm just dropping in. I dropped in some water drops and also some of the light pastel color into the violet. And here you can see that things have dried completely. And now I'm going back in to add another layer. I'm using watercolors again for this step and just do some mark making with a smaller brush. I think it's fine with the brush for now, and I want to get some different texture. So I'm using a Derwent Inktense pencil next to bring in just a different quality of line. Um, yeah, just different marks to get another layer, to create more depth, and to make everything more interesting. It's a purple one. It might be the thistle. I'm not 100% sure. Um, and I really like to dip in the nib into water and then make the marks because you get really interesting inky line then. But sometimes I also like them dry. Here I just do some writing at the bottom. I think that's also quite a nice style element. If you want to see more videos, more mixed media videos, or more watercolor videos, I have a monthly membership if you don't know. And in the mixed media play tier, you get a video every other Saturday, and it's always something about mixed media, watercolor, or art journaling. Unfortunately, my camera died and I didn't recognize that. And I did some line work with Posca Pens here, some botanical images. I was not I hadn't finished what I wanted to do, but unfortunately I didn't catch my camera stopping earlier. And here I'm just using a thinner Posca marker to create these images. I've also used a lighter violet Posca, but I think it was too light. It's on the bottom left here. Um, it was a bit too light, so I just added in one, and just to make everything cohesive, I'm adding in a second one to the right. I really like to use Posca markers or other acrylic paint markers to do line work over the top of watercolor. I think that works out quite nice, and you get them in so many different colors that you find always a good match, I would say. I really like to add some stamping to this spread with these kind of spreads with a text stamp, because that is just a texture I can't draw on. And I really like the combination of text and paint. That's always been something I really enjoy. I also always like these vintagey graphical posters where you have some text combined with a beautiful illustration. And here I just use our Mix a Sentiment stamp set with all kinds of words that usually was made to stamp them and then cut the words and use them as kind of stickers on art journal pages to create a sentiment or just a title for an artist trading card. But it's also quite nice as a background stamp if you just want that texture and not the words are not that important, and therefore I'm using it today. And I'm using the VersaFine Clear ink. It's, I think, the best ink to get a good impression. Well, with today's stamping, as it's just for the background, I wouldn't mind using a different ink that doesn't work as good. I also picked a number stamp from, I think, the Mix It Up 7 stamp set, together with some Gothic purple from StazOn because it matches my color palette, and stamp these to a few of the squares. I'm not sure if you can hear this, but there is some really crazy noise going on outside. I hope it does not bother the voiceover. It's a quick video, so there is not a lot more that I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to add some splatters. Adding color splatters is such a good way to bring in more depth and more texture into a painting, and that's something I use almost every time, I would say. You just have to take care a little bit that you do not overwork it. Don't add too many splatters. If you are enjoying the video, it would be really lovely if you leave a comment and like the video. That would really help my channel. Thank you so much. Finally, I'm adding some white splatters, and I haven't used that art graph crayon in a while. I just forgot about it, I think. You can use acrylic ink instead. That's an art graph tailor shaped crayon, and it's a watercolor type of crayon. Maybe it's kind of an ink, just not liquid ink. I really like it to make splatters. I use it a lot with the white. Also, the black works out quite nice. And I use these usually in my sketchbook for drawing. Yeah, and that's my finished spread for today. I really like the color palette. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you will have a lovely rest of the week. See us next time. Bye.